So, Booksmart is the directorial debut from Olivia Wilde. It is a coming of age high school comedy film. The film stars Beanie Feldstein and Caitlin Dever as the two main characters who are like best friends. They do everything together, they're also quite nerdy, they don't really fit in with everyone else. It's a very typical high school setup of a film. There's the cool kids, these two are the nerdy kids, there's the jocks, there's the bullies. These films often hit so many cliches that I just rarely get that much enjoyment out of them. There's the classic films such as Dazed and Confused, which I just didn't find entertaining at all. A film like Mean Girls as well, which is pretty funny, but I can't really say I love it. But I think the one film that most people are going to be comparing Booksmart to is Superbad. Now, in terms of comedy films, Superbad is still hilarious to me. I actually think it's one of the better comedies that I have seen, even though there are a lot of comedies that I haven't seen up until this point that I may enjoy more. But I just think it has a great balance of ridiculousness and over-the-top characters that are just completely unrealistic, but yet the humor is constantly, like, fast-paced. Everything's just witty and hilarious. Sure, it hits the cliches that all the other types of films in the genre hit as well, but at least it makes up for that by being continuously hilarious throughout. And for me, Booksmart mostly suffers because it just really wasn't that funny throughout. Like, there were so many points where the humor felt shoddy and tacked on. People would just say things and do things that were so stupid and ridiculous that it really just felt really forced. And it really does not help that the film borrows so heavily from Superbad as well in terms of the plot, like the way the film develops, the fact that they hit so many obstacles and take so many detours just so they can get to this party, and just the entire purpose of the film just really kind of leaves me unsatisfied, I think. The two main leads just weren't really that funny to watch, so just watching them on screen go through everything that they do just wasn't entertaining for me at all. Which is a major problem because that's the main focus of the film. You're watching these two awkward girls go in these situations that they've never been in before because they're, nerdy. And there's potential with that, but they're just not it's not utilized. Like, they're just sat in the car with their principal watching porn on their phone. Like, that would never happen. It's just not even funny to watch either. Of course, there's the obligatory scene where they both have to get high, don't they? And they turn into these dolls, and it just was not funny to me at all. For other viewers, this has potential to be hilarious. I imagine many people would have found this really funny, but it just didn't really hit for me. The two leads do perform well throughout. I mean, I'm happy to see Caitlin Dever get a bigger role now because her performance in Short Term 12 was so good that it's nice to see her starting to break out into more films and become the lead of a film. But yeah, generally the comedic timing was kind of off from them, I think. They just didn't really sell the humour to me. There were a few points though that I did find funny. I mean, the whole panda bear gag thing I thought was really stupid but also quite entertaining. And the scene where she's getting arrested and she calls shotgun to say the front of the police car, and then she's like, I don't actually have a shotgun. It's silly, but little jokes like that do crack me up occasionally. But yeah, other than that, it was just watching characters do things and say things that they would just never say. And if it weren't for those convenient things that they did and said, then the film wouldn't have moved along. But it was just also forced. Yeah, sure, your class teacher would be so cool to the point where she'd take you to a party and then join in the party. Come on, that just is not gonna happen. And the whole side story between her and that student was really weird as well. What was that? They didn't make anything funny out of it either. They just made it so awkward. I found that thing just really weird, honestly. There was nothing to laugh at about it. I will say, though, that once they did get to the party, I think things started to pick up slightly. It wasn't that much better, but it definitely got a little bit more interesting to see the characters develop a little bit more, some of the side characters as well. You find out a little bit more about them and who they really are. They do both have this one huge argument, though, that easily could have been resolved if the character Amy had just told her what had happened instead of just wanting to rush out and leave the party. That really felt silly to me. Like if she'd just told her what had happened without me spoiling it, because it's quite a big moment in the film. But if she'd have just said what happened, then none of that would have had to have happened. They wouldn't have had to argue. It just felt again like another convenient plot device just to throw in an argument between them. But yeah, this film just brought nothing new to the table whatsoever. Like there was nothing fresh or unique about this film, and once again it's another type of coming of age film that people are just adoring and throwing so much praise onto. I just don't really see what there is to love about it. The humour just never landed. Like there were just so many points where a character would say something and it would just be like, oh okay. Funnily enough, the film was just like the average high school character in this film, just trying too hard. But once you actually got digging deeper into the people and finding out that they were all putting on a front and they weren't really the way that people perceive them, then that was actually when the film was better. So it's annoying, really. Yeah, so aside from the soundtrack, which was pretty much on point the whole way through this film, nothing else really landed with me. Seriously, some of the tracks they picked were quite obscure at points, but they really fit in the film. I was really quite impressed. They had a friggin' track from Subtract, which came out in like 2011. That was crazy to hear that song on this film. It was really impressive. I was happy to hear Death Grips and Anderson .Paak throughout. It was quite cool. But yeah, generally it just hit all the cliches. There was even an underwater scene that we had to see, of course. Like all of these coming of age films always have an underwater scene, don't they? But other than that, this was whatever. Yeah, I'm going to go 5 out of 10, unfortunately. I didn't really get impressed by much throughout this film. But if you liked it more than me, then that's cool. Let me know why. Let me know your thoughts on the film overall. Thank you for watching my video. Have a good day and goodbye.